Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salailo Makwidir. The time is 8:42, and our next story of the day takes us to North Africa, where the long-standing conflict over Western Sahara has taken a new turn. The United Kingdom has become the latest country to endorse Morocco's controversial autonomy plan. They've called it the most credible and viable solution to the decades-old territorial dispute. We all know of Western Sahara. It is the last remaining colony in Africa, colonized by Morocco, obviously. And for the Sahrawi people, this growing international support for Moroccan sovereignty, I think, couldn't mean anything than a final nail in the coffin of their right to self-determination, something that is enshrined in international law and in various UN resolutions. And joining us now to unpack what this latest diplomatic shift means for the future of Western Sahara is Attorney Magdalene Moonsamy. She's a human rights advocate, she's a legal expert, and no stranger to Salam Media and to the show. Magdalene, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. Always a pleasure.
Alaikum salam. Thank you to the listeners and to yourself, Salilo. It's
Mm,
always a pleasure to be with you. Yes. This is the third day of June. We are
mm,
in 6 months of a year, and we are facing a situation which is not unknown. Prior to this, I think one of the things you must consider in terms of the Sahel region and in particular the issue of sorry, just one second. Um, go back to that article. The issue of Britain, the United Kingdom, supporting the Moroccan standpoint or Moroccan autonomy plan, is the issue of the propaganda that comes. Go to your WhatsApp. Is the issue that comes before is the propaganda. Now, you and
mhm,
I know that you have on numerous occasions invited the Moroccan um, counterparts in South Africa to your studios, and there was a point that we attended, and they said that they would, and they did not. Is the fact that you see the current global phenomenon where now we have the Iran Trump or the Iran US face off, and we have the deadline for Hamas from Israel, is the issue of the propaganda of terrorism
mm,
that has been spread regarding the Western Sahara and the region in general, where terrorism is being there sponsored and it's being now that would obviously. So I want to just set the background for you in terms of why we go from um, Britain not having any reason to participate because in this fatal finale fatal situation is that they've been fed propaganda of potential terrorist attack by the region that's not in Morocco's control.
mm,
So when we're speaking about autonomy, we speak about autonomy in South Africa, in South African terms, organizationally. But when we speak about autonomy, which is autonomy that is land related, political, global position on autonomy, then we need to understand what does the United Nations speak about when it talks about autonomy. I think it's a political autonomy. Political autonomy, we had a political autonomy, the unoccupied territories have that political autonomy.
mm,
Um, the entire Western Sahara does not belong to Morocco. And the maps that are sometimes projected are not true and correct because the Baram itself is 2,700 kilometers. Now, we are speaking about an autonomy where we are saying we want um, full rights to utilize. And remember what happened in the European Court of Justice. The
mm,
European Court of Justice declared that Morocco cannot do any trade, any kind of engagement on Sahrawi soil, no engagements of trade. And what you will realize from this relationship where Britain has now entered into supporting Morocco is the interest in its mineral um, cooperation agreements that they've lauded it to on security and trade cooperation agreements, which includes healthcare, innovation, port, water infrastructure, and procurement. So that was already a ruling, an international court ruling.
mm,
So the United Kingdom is breaching an international court ruling. One. Secondly, on the issue of Moroccan plan, Stefan de Mistura, when he left the United Nations as a special envoy to go to um, the territories, the occupied and unoccupied territories, he was not sent there for fun. He was sent there so there could be a referendum, not a Moroccan autonomy plan. There's no such thing. It's the same way when Israel makes a proposition to Hamas about a 60 days with these conditions. You cannot negotiate if there's a one party who has the plan and the other party must accept the plan. You
mm,
are negotiating both parties. So in this instance, what has happened is Morocco has gone once again disrespected. Yes, it is the third permanent member state of the United Nations in terms of what is purported, but I mean, really, if it's the third member state of the United Nations that now supports this Moroccan autonomy plan, um, do you think the Sahrawis are going to surrender when they are at war? It's not possible. And if the UK then wants to suggest that it's going to gain benefit, that is maleficence. It's not benefit, it's corruption. You're actually breaking the law, it's criminality.
mm,
So I don't think that they can do what they want. They've been doing what they want in any event. In the European Union, in the United Nations, swaying left and right, sending through all of special envoys, etc. But the bottom line remains is that they have to challenge, they have to then reverse the judgment, which allows Morocco to establish the kind of infrastructure it's going to need in order to ensure that the security and trade deals actually happen.
mm, mm, mm.
What are you
I,
thinking? What are you thinking?
I wanna. What I'm thinking is there seems to be a rise, in support for, Morocco. We've seen the UK, we've seen the US, we've seen France, Spain, Germany backing Morocco, and I'm just wondering how damaging is this for the international principle of self-determination, particularly for smaller or occupied nations like Western Sahara.
Okay, Slilam, if I go into your neighborhood and if I am saying in your to your neighbors, um, I know that there is a criminal um, circuit that is running there. They are human trafficking. They are doing drugs. They are going to bomb your houses. They are. It's propaganda. Okay, but you're going to believe it. Am I correct?
Mm,
Your neighbors are going to believe it. Am I correct?
mm,
You are going to say, okay, and I say to you, listen, I will give you. Now, here's the part we must remember. If you negotiate with me, if you say, let's get rid of these people, and I paint them out to be thugs. If we get rid of them, I'm going to give you the sea, access to the sea for the fisheries. I'm going to give you access to phosphates. I'm going to give you access to Water, I'm going to give you access to, I mean, the desert underneath the water potential is extremely good. I'm going to give you access to raw material. I'm going to give you access to minerals. Okay?
Mm,
So you're going to get saved on the one hand because I'm going to bring my people to say, okay, fine. We're going to, then you're going to bring in your people to back me up because you are benefiting from the same thing that could be of destruction, which is not true. So now this is what we call the dollar patronage. We call the system of the euro patronage, where um, of course international trade in Africa is fading. You can see what is happening in Burkina Faso, in Mali, the top five: ADF, Gambia, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Sudan. Okay,
mm,
so if you take the African Development Forum, and if you look at what is happening in Burkina Faso, and then you say to yourself, okay, Morocco has already gone to see Traore, then you understand that this is about keeping the trade and keeping, it's all about rebuilding. Because currently, what is our strength with our relations with, for example, the United States? It's in terms of business, in terms of investment, etc. It's a failing fly
mm,
or a falling fly. So we must then understand that once you spread the propagandas to suggest that you are a terrorist organization, which is natural. Come on, Salilo. You know, the one thing our people need to be understanding, both in Israel and in the Western Sahara, there is nothing that you are seeing with your eye on a television, which is the truth and nothing but the truth. Because there is a third truth behind the scenes. Because sometimes we see an Israeli, a Jew, and a Palestinian holding hands. So it cannot be that the whole of Israel. It's not a decision of Israel, is it?
mm,
Or is it a decision of an individual to kill and to create a war for the purposes of what? Mineral resources and land occupation. And this is the exact, because remember the bilateral that Morocco has with Israel. So we
mm,
have to place things into context. So the UK, obviously, because of its relation with the United States, will extend its hand to Morocco because Morocco has extended its hand to Israel.
mm.
So this autonomy plan is it's just a pipe dream. Morocco woke up one morning with a bad dream, and this was it, and a bad idea.
Mm, mm.
And they just
Um,
decided.
mm. I wanna wrap up the conversation with I think what's very very important on the way forward here. Do you believe there's still a viable path to free and fair referendum in Western Sahara, or is that door quickly closing? Unfortunately.
Now, this is a very critical question that you are asking because the only oppressors of the referendum, the only ones who are refusing the referendum, if Morocco felt so strongly. Remember King Hussein, King Mohammed the fifth, I think it was. He said that there must be a referendum. When his son took over, the referendum was gone. Now, a referendum will show your Islamic duty and will show your honor and will show that you've got nothing to hide. Am I correct?
True.
So you want to go outside to negotiate with um, the UK, but you cannot call a referendum because there's an article that says 600,000 people. It's more than that. Because remember, those are, you may be counting in the occupied territories, not in the unoccupied territories. So Morocco is afraid of that referendum
Mm,
because that referendum will include Moroccans voting in favor of the Western Sahara.
Oh.
So, yes, it is a reason why Morocco is using every other form of propaganda to circumvent the progress that is needed in the region because it does not want to. And that should be the question that the UK should have asked. Why do you want to come with an autonomy plan? Your autonomy plan, which you are imposing, when you should be rather go to that referendum and show us what you're made of.
Hmm.
Show us what you are made of. Come back with results.
Hmm. No, definitely, Magdalene.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure chatting to you, and yeah, hope to see you again in the not so distant future.
Okay, cool, Salalo.
Bye.
Salam.
Welcome,
Okay,
salam. That
enjoy
is
your day.
Magdalene Moonsamy from Magdalene Moonsamy Attorneys. And yeah, very, very important, especially the point that she's making on the referendum. Why is Morocco doing by all means to go all across the world to try and garner support, while they can easily just push for a referendum and see if Moroccans themselves want this continued occupation of Western Sahara to continue. So that's one thing to look at. Very, very concerning what's happening in Western Sahara. It is Africa's last remaining colony, and well, colonized by fellow Africans in this case, which is the most disheartening part. We're going to take a quick break. News and views continues after this.